The community is wrong about the Gorgofex. And no, this isn't clickbait, it's the truth. Right now, if you scroll through Twitter or Reddit or YouTube or wherever you like to get your social media from, you'll see people dragging this thing like it's the freaking Dret Gun 2.0. But here's the thing, the hate isn't just overblown, it's downright hypocritical in my opinion. And I'm here to explain why. If you've been watching any zombies YouTubers videos lately and just happen to scroll through the comments, people are saying that it's weak or it's boring or it's not worthy of a finale map like The Reckoning. But if we actually look at zombies history since the beginning, we've had way weaker, way clunkier wonder weapons in some of the most beloved maps of all time. And no one tore those maps apart because of it. So let's start diving deep into why I think this is hypocritical and why I think people should actually look at the Gorgofex as a positive in The Reckoning. Let's break it down. The Gorgofex is a really alien looking pistol wonder weapon with multiple quest upgrades and also a quest to be able to get the wonder weapon period. And it almost reminds me of the Apothicant Servant in nature. It's really out there and I love that. The quest is pretty simple. You have to interact with some ether devices, do a little puzzle to open up the room, fill up some souls, and take on a mini boss, and it's pretty much it. But people are saying because it's not a one-shot nuke on round 50, they act like it's worthless. But here's the problem. Zombies has never been about just having the strongest gun. If that's your mindset, then yeah, every map without a thunder gun or an Apothicant Servant or something similar should be bad in your opinion, but that's not how we've judged maps in the past. Now look, there's a lot of things you can criticize about The Reckoning, whether it's a story, which I could do a whole nother video about, it so bad, or the design or the atmosphere, but the wonder weapon should not be the thing you're complaining about. Let's take a walk down memory lane and look at one of the most classic, and honestly most of the time this map is rated B tier or higher on most people's lists, and it's Call of the Dead. Now, Call of the Dead has amazing atmosphere, it has amazing training spots, and it's iconic. A lot of people like Call of the Dead. But if you look at the wonder weapons, okay, we've got two options here. We've got number one, the VR11, which is absolutely terrible, especially if you're playing with it in solo. The only thing that makes it useful is if you upgrade it, you can shoot your teammates and you can get an insta-kill on your teammate if you shoot them with that. But if you're playing solo, like I said, this thing is absolutely terrible. Or let's even look at the Scavenger. Now, I know a lot of people probably like the Scavenger, but listen, the reality is the Scavenger falls off hard in the late 40s and early 50s, and that doesn't make it a bad wonder weapon. It just means that it falls off. But the main thing I'm pointing to here is just because these wonder weapons aren't the quote-unquote round 100 smashers that they want them to be, they don't say Call of the Dead is a worse off map for it. And I'm not saying that Call of the Dead is worse off for it either. Call of the Dead is a great map, but the wonder weapons are just not that great. But that doesn't make the map any less bad or great. The next thing I want to talk about is how unique the Gorgofex actually is, especially in its art design. And I think that's one of the biggest things the community is missing, is we complain about this literally all of the time that we want unique wonder weapons, and half of this game's life cycle or even more, we've been getting reused wonder weapons, and I absolutely despise that. It's not just another reskin explosive gun or some random beam cannon. It's got a living, breathing, almost like alien vibe to it, like I said earlier, and it integrates into the map's lore actually pretty well, and it feels like it belongs to the Reckoning's bioether theme, at least in my opinion. We should want more wonder weapons like this. Weapons that feel alive, that make you change your strategy, that don't just turn every map into a camp into the corner snooze fest. Remember when every wonder weapon wasn't just hold the trigger and everything dies? That's where the creativity was, in my opinion. Now, look, I understand a lot of people like to just play chill, sit in the corner, and just kill zombies and have fun. And hell, even I like to do that sometimes. But let's be real, if your idea of fun, at least on every single map, is sitting in one spot holding down the trigger until your thumbs go numb, then go play Shadows of Evil and grab the Apothicant Servant or on Revelations, either or. That gun with the right gobblegums will literally let you sit in a corner until your eyes glaze over. But that's not what every map needs to cater to, in my opinion. Wonder weapons like the Gorgofex force you to think about your positioning in the map, and they don't allow you to just sit there in the corner at least the whole game. And honestly, the Gorgofex is actually strong, especially the N variant. If you're running training strategies with this thing is actually really strong. And if you haven't tried the N version and tried to go to high rounds with it, then you should. It's a blast. Now again, like I said, it's not just a point and click way to get your way to round 100, but it's absolutely unique in its gameplay, and that's what I love about it. And on the subject of creative movement with the Wonder Weapons, think about the Blunder Gap or the Acid Gap from Mob of the Dead, or if you're into it, Blood of the Dead. It's a great weapon, but let's be honest, it's not broken. It's great for its distraction effect, but damage-wise, it doesn't even stand nearly close to something like the Apothec and Servant, but people still love it. And it's because of its theme, it's the way that it looks, it's the way that it feels, it's unique. It's not the freaking Ice Staff again from Origins in the Tomb. And that's exactly what I want. We can even look at the KT form from Zetsubo. Yeah, technically it does infinite damage, but it doesn't allow you to just sit in the corner the entire time. You have to train a lot of the time for the Wonder Weapon to do its work, but it's still really strong. Or I could use the example from earlier, the Scavenger. The Scavenger is badass and it's unique and there's nothing else like it in zombies, but it's not going to get you to round 100. It's just not. The Gorgofex for me is in that same category. It's not about being the most powerful, it's about being memorable and fitting the map's atmosphere and the design of the weapon, which I honestly think the design is top tier. One of the biggest things that I've seen the community have problems with in things like Cold War and Black Ops 6, or maybe even the middle games if you played those, is the difficulty. And one of the things that makes the map difficult is not having a wonder weapon that can instantly kill on round 100 or further. And honestly, I think people say they want that, but the community's expectations have shifted, I think. Somewhere along the way, I'm not sure why, people have decided that if a wonder weapon isn't instantly melting on round 50, round 100, etc., then it's trash. But let's be honest. I mean, look at the ray gun. It's not even close to being the strongest wonder weapon, but it comes back every year, and you can't tell me every time you get that ray gun out of the box, you just get that feeling of, oh man, this is so sick. The nostalgia and all that good stuff. Awesome design. It's iconic for a reason. And look, even in maps that are top tier rated all the time, like Origins, the staffs don't always kill. They don't always kill around 100 besides the Ice Staff, but it even stops at a point after that. You can't just keep going until you break the game. That's just not how it works. The Monkey Bomb, even though I don't think it's classified as a wonder weapon, I almost kind of think of it as like wonder equipment. It doesn't kill zombies that crazy. It saved your life back then, and I know it does a little better now, but it's not the ultimate killing equipment. You'll use other equipment to kill other than the Monkey Bomb. In my opinion, we're supposed to have variety. Some maps give you the god tier horde killers, and some others give you tactical tools that fit the experience. Zombies at its best has variety. If you're always putting a round 100 gun in every single map, then a lot of the maps would get really boring very fast. Some of the maps will give you a god tier horde killer like the Thunder Gun, and some others will give you the tactical tools like the Winter's Howl. I mean, it's not completely useless, so you can use it to freeze enemies and it'll save you in situations. So, in my opinion, like I said, the less uniqueness you have and the less variety you have, the more boring zombies becomes. Is the Gorgofex the best wonder weapon? Of course it's not. It's not perfect, but neither were a lot of weapons, like the Thunder Gun or the Baby Gun or the Wave Gun, the KT-4, Ray Gun Mark IIIs in the classic games. Not all of them just one-shot zombies until the end of time. But a lot of the maps those weapons are in are still considered classic and legendary because we judge them as a whole experience, not just because whether the wonder weapon was the best thing on earth or not. And look, like I said earlier in the video, you can definitely criticize The Reckoning for a lot of other things, whether it's its atmosphere, its story, which like I said, I want to make a whole other video about that because It's just crazy to me. But again, criticize the map for the map. The Wonder Weapon in this map should be one of the better things in this map, and one of the things you should praise Treyarch for. And hopefully in Black Ops 7, they get even crazier. They get even more unique. That's exactly what I want. A lot of people in the zombies community nowadays, especially with modern zombies, say we want innovation. We say that, hey, Treyarch, we want to try new ideas instead of reskinning Wonder Weapons all the time or bringing back Wonder Weapons for the 1000th time. Well, guess what? The Gorgofex is innovation. It's organic, and it's not a one-tap till round 100 camping machine. I understand that. But if that's all you want, go grab the Apothicon Servant on Revelations or Shadows and sit in the corner, or many other Wonder Weapons that can do the same thing. That's not what the Reckoning is about. In my opinion, Zombies is at its best when it's about strategy, map flow, and creativity, not just to hold down the trigger. We've had plenty of weaker Wonder Weapons and some of the most beloved maps in history, but those maps are still looked at as classics and top tier because of the maps themselves, not the Wonder Weapons. So maybe instead of just instantly labeling it as the worst Wonder Weapon in history, just think about that. Does it make the map more interesting, or does it make me play differently, or does it fit the story and vibe and all those things? At the end of the day, not every Wonder Weapon needs to be the strongest, and in this situation, I think we need to be praising the hell out of Treyarch in this one regard. If you want to criticize the map, like I said earlier, criticize it for its story, its layout, etc. But you should be looking at this Wonder Weapon and wanting more things like this.